I started going to the gym in 2016 when I was 17 years old, and for the first 4 years, I did nothing practically. So I'm not really special. I'm like a lot of you guys. Like, I never really grew up athletic. I was never an athlete. I never really trained properly in anything. So I turned out as a very unathletic kid, had a very scrawny, like skinny fat physique, like a lot of you guys do probably. I was always tall, which I guess I always had that going for me. By 17, when I came to start college, I had a very really awful skinny fat physique, not particularly popular, not particularly confident. It's funny because especially growing up in the digital era, there's always someone or something at that age that makes you want to start changing. For me, I think when I was watching YouTube, I know Athlean-X was the guy for most people. There's Bradley Martin, there was, freaking Connor Murphy, I think was there as well. I think for me specifically, it was Joe Weller and Fousey Tube. They were the guys for me at that age, really jacked, really athletic, really aesthetic guys. I still remember to this day seeing Fousey's 90-day transformation video, and that really lit a fire inside of me. And that's when I first got my taste of wanting to do it. That's when at 17, going into college, that's when I first started going to the gym. And I kid you not, for the first 4 years, I made zero progress. It hurts. It hurts. I never really went up in lifts. I never improved my strength. I never improved my appearance. I never got better. I never progressed my physique. And by 2021, I looked pretty much the exact same. And then by around 21 to 22, I spiraled into borderline obesity. But then 2.5 years on from that point, right now, after I eventually finally started getting it right and finally started making progress to where I am now, I can look back and I can identify where I went wrong, and I can identify the feelings. Feelings of anger, feelings of regret, feelings of lost time, feelings of hatred for my past self for not making any progress. The feeling of, what if? Where would I be now? And I want to help you guys, those of you who are starting the gym right now at that age, to avoid being in this position where you're having to think about those feelings. Because honestly, it's painful. My college years could have looked so different had I been more aesthetic, had I been more confident. It pains. No point crying over spilt milk, but it's a feeling you want to avoid. And I want to help anybody avoid that. So I feel like I have a good grasp of the reasons why the first 4 years went so wrong. I don't want to just give technical, boring, reasons like, oh, I just didn't go enough, I wasn't consistent enough, I didn't lift this way, my diet wasn't good enough, you know what I mean? Because these are all things that are manifestations of the true, deeper reasons, which I'm going to go through in this video. So number one, waiting for motivation. I lacked motivation for a lot of things during my late teens and early 20s. I had a lot of mental health issues. I was dull, depressed, sad, low energy for a lot of that time. I was waiting to be motivated to go to the gym. I'd have, many choppy stopping and starting moments. Like, I'd start to go for a few weeks when I'm motivated to go in and start. And then after a while, I'd lose that motivation. Then I'd just stop and I wouldn't go for another, 3 or 4 months. And once I lost that motivation, I'd stop, and then, I'd wait for a friend of mine to come and go and drag me with him. But then I'd stop again. I basically had this idea that if I don't have motivation, I can't go to the gym. Little did I know that most of the people that go to the gym and are successful at it aren't motivated to go 90% of the time. Because motivation, it's fleeting. It's just a feeling. It comes and goes. And you can't have your workouts be fleeting. Like, you know that Jack guy who, who's been training 6 days a week for 8 years, who has biceps the size of your fucking head, right? Do you think he's motivated to go to the gym every time? Do you think he wakes up motivated when he has to get up and do leg day? When he wakes up on that cold, wet November morning to do leg day, do you think he's waking up excited, pumped, ready to go? Or do you think he, just like the rest of us, probably wants to lie in, probably wants to have a coffee, probably wants to watch a movie all day? But what does he do? He gets up and he does it anyway. And that's why he has biceps the size of your head. Nobody's motivated all year round. Like, I'm in Ireland, winter is depressing. Nobody wants to get up on a winter morning to go and do a set of squats and have their legs feel like jelly for the rest of the day. That Jack guy does it, and he's been doing it for years, and that's why he's where he is at. Because you know what he has that I didn't? Discipline. Discipline is the single most important thing for anyone wanting to start a fitness journey. Motivation might be what gets you in the door, but discipline is what's going to keep you coming back. Discipline is what's going to get you into that gym on that rainy January, December, February morning. Discipline is what's going to get you into that gym after a long day of college or work, when all you want to do is go home. Discipline is what's going to make you stick to your diet. So that's what I lacked. I lacked discipline. I lacked the ability to get up and do it anyway, despite not feeling like it. That's why 90% of the people who start going to the gym on New Year's, on January 1st, always end up quitting and making no progress. Because on January 1st, it's all motivation, no discipline. Now, reason number 2, and this is a bit of a controversial one. I took a bit of the blue pill Kool-Aid. So at that time in my life, I was a massive soy cock. Massive soy cock. A bit of a little bitch. Actually, no, a lot of a little bitch. I had the complete wrong mindset in life to make any changes to anything whatsoever. This is kind of related to the last point because it has something to do with the whole motivation discipline thing. I didn't have the right mindset to be able to have discipline. Like the blue pill leftist, Kool-Aid that I took was that, I wasn't really aware and I didn't really realize the importance of how important looks and looksmaxxing was. Like, I kind of knew because I had a friend who started going to the gym and improved his appearance, and the difference was night and day in his life. Like, he got jacked, he started lifting, he got jacked, and I've noticed instantly how much more attention he was getting, how much more attention from girls, even from guys, People started wanting to be his friend more, and he got more respect from guys because of how he looked. So yeah, he started making more friends in that way and had a much better social life because of it. So I always kind of knew that looks mattered, and how good your body looks matters a lot. So I did kind of know, but I didn't fully take it on board. I still kind of had that very leftist blue pill mentality of, oh, just be yourself. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Looks don't matter. Just be yourself. Yay. I still somehow deep down believe that I deserved attention and attraction, regardless of how I looked and regardless of how hard I worked on how I looked. I still actually believe, that I was going to find someone someday and looks don't matter and body positivity. Yay. I actually believe that shit. Oh, yeah, I really took the Kool-Aid. At the same time, I also had a really bad self-image where I was almost black-pilled, and I thought, oh, because of how ugly I was, I thought, it doesn't matter how jacked I get or how, athletic and how in shape I get. I'm too ugly anyway, so it doesn't even matter. It wasn't until I really got into my head that we live in a very brutal, superficial world, and looks matter perhaps a lot more than anything really, and that unless you're genetically gifted as a guy, you have to do everything you can to make yourself as attractive as possible to even get in the door with social situations, romantic or even friendships. You deserve nothing as a man, and it sucks to say, but that's the truth, and there's no point crying over it, which is what I did for all these years. No one was coming to save me, and once I grasped that reality, then I sort of had the motivation, had the urgency to start improving things, and that's when I was finally able to get into that gym and actually started working properly. I also had this big victim mentality when I thought the world owed me shit and that I felt really bad, and I thought, I just felt really bitter and unpleasant and just angry at the world because I thought, I didn't get a fair shot at things, and I thought I was owed things and that I shouldn't have to work hard for them because that's the leftist mentality, I guess. I was angry at the world for being shallow and unfair and not giving me the validation and the social life that I wanted. And I had to kind of get rid of that leftist mentality completely and actually break through and realize, yeah, the world sucks. Make the most of it or you're doomed. Number 3, it's because I just didn't have a plan. Not having a plan is a surefire way to make sure you end up quitting at the gym. I remember when I first went in, I was like, I was skinny fat, so I was like, I want to get jacked, right? So what did I do? I went to the cardio machines, and then I did a little bit of weights after, but I was doing 20 minutes in the cardio machine every session because I thought I was fat and I needed to lose the fat, and I thought running would help. I didn't know anything about calories in, calories out, and like my diet was still shit most of the time. Then I slowly started to familiarize myself with things and started realizing, okay, weights build muscle. Cardio on its own won't get rid of fat. You need your diet for that. You need calories in, calories out. But then when I'd go, I still wouldn't have a really solid idea of what I was gonna do in the gym when I went, and like I wouldn't track my weights that I was doing at all. I wouldn't have anything planned. I'd decide literally when I got to the gym what I would do. I never had a proper split. I never had a schedule. I never tracked calories or macros. Like that's criminal when I think of it. I never bulked. Like, bruh, I never even, like, what was I thinking? I never even tracked the weights that I was doing, that I was lifting for progress. Once I started getting serious around 2.5 years ago, that's when I fully got serious. Everything kind of clicked into place. The mindset clicked into place. That's when I started researching all the optimal workouts. That's when I started looking for the best splits. Started researching about, body recomp and bulking and cutting and which one should I do. I still made mistakes, don't get me wrong, but like I actually knew I had a direction this time. I learned about BMR and your maintenance calories, and that's where you go for, if you want to cut, you go above your BMR. If you want to, if you want to bulk, you go above your BMR. You want to cut, you go below that. I did a body recomp, and then I did, bulking and then cutting. Like I've realized the mistakes that I made, but at least I had direction. I actually started tracking the weights on my phone. Like my notes app is just full of like all the weights for whatever exercise I'm doing, and like how many reps and how many sets. I actually track everything now, and I monitor the progress meticulously. So now before I walk in the gym, I know exactly what exercises I'm gonna do. I know exactly what order I'm even gonna do them in. So yeah, those are my 3 reasons for why the first 4 years I made no progress. If you're a young lad starting off now, make sure you tackle those 3. Make sure you don't even think about going to that gym until you've thought about hard and shifted your mindset and your beliefs and actually tackled those 3 main issues, because honestly, they'll save you a lot of time. They would have saved me 4 years. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.